Let's
Good shit.
go. Fuck
Let's
yeah.
go.
GM.
GM.
I'm gonna do a tweet. We are live. Come and hang. Yeah, that looks like it's working. Cool. I think we're also on abstract at the moment, but like no one's using that shit. Sorry, abstract, but like I'm not doing that slave labor shit.
Fuck abstract, man. Fuck abstract.
Hang.
Nah, I think abstract would be pretty good. If it pays us millions and millions of dollars. You know what I mean? Like if it just has one of those come ups, glow ups for us.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a big deal.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
It's a big deal. It's a good deal. Yeah. Well, we just spent 20 minutes talking to each other about what we've been up to.
Yeah. Now we gotta go.
The CEO of having all the good conversations on like not on air.
Oh, this could be fun. We might just turn this into a best trader I know, but I'll interview you, Swiss. Totally unscripted.
Fun fact. I am speaking with Bunjul tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
So
that's cool. That's awesome.
He did confirm today though, and I feel like that's not much time to like prep for both of us. So
yeah.
I'll ask him again tomorrow if he's still good to go on it. But yeah, third time's the charm.
Nice.
Could make some stuff happen, which is good.
That should be good. I was enjoying the sweet smoothie sounds of what's his name? ZenTrades' voice the other day on the pod.
Absolute smooth magnet, isn't he?
Yeah, very, very cool. I got me thinking, and I've been thinking a lot about the guy that he met while backpacking that had the Bitcoin tattoo. I really want to know what he's up to. I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool if like we did like connected him, like via Twitter. It was like, hey, if you were a guy with a Bitcoin tattoo that met this guy in Puerto Rico or wherever he was, Peru or some shit, here he is, and then like join these long lost friends. I think that would...
Yeah, I think it's kind of insane that he thought he was late at like, what was it, $100?
$100, yeah, seriously, man. $100 Bitcoin. I remember $100 Bitcoin, and I remember thinking I was late at the time too, so then I just completely avoided it.
Yeah, I definitely I don't even remember when I first heard about Bitcoin. I think it was like 2017. There was a guy at work that was like super into it, like proper into it, and he was so into it that he was like telling people to get into it. Like, you should buy some. I was like I don't know what it is, man.
Yeah. Do you feel like you know, like when it comes to crypto, right? Like when you get excited about it, like you obviously want to tell people, but you become like so evangelistic about it that like people get put off by the fact that you're trying to tell them. And it actually works like sort of counterintuitive in a sense, because it's like you're trying to bring people on board because you're excited about it, you're making money, etc. But you end up actually like putting people off. But it seems to be like most people, when they first hear about it, like they get put off initially, and then somewhere down the line they hear about it again, but like not through someone, like they've seen it online or something, and then they go, oh yeah, maybe I'll have a look at this thing, and then that's like the point that like draws them in. Like it's like it probably does work in a sense that like when you start telling friends about it, but like it doesn't at the same time. Like it may delay someone getting into it earlier, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think I definitely would have told more people about Bitcoin in the 2017 bull market than like the 2021 and then now. Because of the sheer fact of how novel it was,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
how emergent this idea of something like, I think, I don't know, don't quote me on this because I wasn't around really at that period of time, but the whole ethos of what this like tech would be was like still coming to like fruition. So like people were getting into the idea that this thing was like religion packed into a blockchain. And it would have been like so electrifying to be like watching it go from like a couple of $100 to 20K, and you're just like, this is it.
Yeah.
This is the fucking thing. And you just like, you're so amped up. You're just like, fuck you. You're like, you know, you're like,
oh man.
you're like, I believe in this.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, oh, you don't really want to talk to people too much about it.
Yeah,
You're
that's
so like, Bitcoin's digital gold. It's like, yeah, bro, we know.
We get it. Like the fucking
like,
Donald Trump's talking about it. Like, fuck you. Like,
yeah.
I do think that like to your point, like there's an element of like that novelty where there was like an asymmetric upside to it. Originally, like even in 2021, there was like that sort of asymmetric upside where it was kind of like, hey, this is something that is genuinely like new and useful and has the potential to go really far. You know, governments were kind of acknowledging it, but kind of being like, fuck off. Whereas now it's like so well accepted, especially in like the political space, that it's like, is it that asymmetric anymore? And you know, is it just becoming something that's a bit more household commonplace compared to before? Which it does sort of worry me about like sort of the upsides in crypto, because it now just feels like if you want to get any of those like previous upsides, like you've got to be playing this like shitter game, and like who can rug first. Like it's just games of chicken all the time. Whereas like that asymmetric, you know, I can take a position in something and sort of like believe in it for a long time, and then it should pay me off. And if it doesn't, then whatever. Like that doesn't really exist as much anymore. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I definitely think there was an element of like, I think the best thing that you can do if you wanted to observe how this is all unfolded is if anyone buys Bitcoin now for the first time, who's like of a normal age that would have, you know, had like was an adult around 2012 or a little bit before, is to like ask them, why are you buying it now? And then tell them that the actual blockchain technology of Bitcoin has not changed ever. You know, and just like kind of explain to them that what you're buying now is essentially exactly the same as what it was before. And so I think this trend, like for us to be able to watch this unfold, is like probably a pretty rare thing.
Yeah.
Because I think and that's why I think it would have been so cool around like 2012 to 2017, because there would have been this period of time where the literal technology was enough for you to believe in something different. It didn't need to have digital rock. It was just enough for you to go, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Let me buy some drugs with it.
Yeah.
No, but like,
no, but seriously, yeah.
To sort of believe in it, and then you go from there, and you're like, you just get a part of that sort of ecosystem. But then like it would have been like in football terms, it's like just getting promoted to the top flight division, and then you're the 20th team, like right at the bottom, and then all the other 19 teams are like shitting on you because you're absolutely like poo and like you shouldn't be there. And then it's like each cycle you get closer and closer of finishing on top as like an unstoppable force. And then finally, when it gets accepted by, you know, Donald Trump and the White House, you're like sitting in the top position because, you know, you cannot be like argued against anymore, or refuted by how well this thing has done from an asset point of view and from a technology point of view.
Yeah.
No, that's. But then also you look at it and think, is that a trade you take anymore?
Yeah.
This large.
I guess it's kind of like it's a tired analogy, like, but it's just one I haven't heard of in a long time. But like, like if you grew up in the '90s and you were like similar age to like us now, and then like
Mm.
buying those stocks in that period of time, like with the coming age of the internet and all of that, it would have really felt similar. Like it would have really been like, holy shit, this is amazing. Like this can change the world.
Yeah.
And then like the bubble burst and then like everything went to shit. But like the dynamics of that period of time, because it was stocks and they were like regulated companies and all of that. So like you couldn't get these like it wasn't a financial market in itself, if you know what I mean. Like the internet was the internet,
Yeah.
and then like businesses could get built out of it, and like maybe businesses did well, but it wasn't something that like everyone could join in on, if you know what I mean.
Correct.
So like
Yeah.
that, the opportunity for these like cyclical bubbles to continue to happen probably didn't exist in that like internet sense, but like I think being around in that time, that excitement and that feel would have been really cool. And to see where it is now, like with like Facebooks and like Instagrams and like everything that we're so used to today and just take for granted, like that like I grew up in that time when like we didn't have anything, and then we had websites, and then there was like MySpace, and then there was like forums, and then there was blogs, and then there was like everything that we know now. Like that was a really cool contrast to see, but there is a whole decade of people that know nothing different.
Yeah.
So like I think it's kind of like what crypto is going to be like. This it's going to be so obfuscated away from like the end user, that like the rails and everything, the infrastructure that we've all built is going to be so ingrained in everything that we do 10 years from now. But like we're in that period of time where we got to understand like the nuts and bolts and how the sausage gets made in crypto, that like in 10 years from now, and like people are doing and using it, you'll be like, back in my day, like we were buying nigger butt coin for like short-term money and like all this sort of shit. And like that's how these infrastructure rails got built out. But like none of that exists anymore, because like that was just part of that speculative cycle. But I'm sure there was like internet stocks or whatever back in the day that was like in similar sort of vein, but probably not to the same level of degeneracy, that like would have brought that same sort of excitement and everything that we sort of know. Yeah.
That's a really good point. I still remember when I first downloaded Instagram, and I remember just like, it was when I was in year 12, and I remember just like creating this account with my mates, and it was to do with like taking photos of like a Coke can and just posting photos of this Coke can in like random spots. I don't know, it was just fucking weird. But it's come so far since then, and it is kind of crazy to think where, I guess, technological changes would go and take hold, I guess.
I think we have a brown bear in here.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
Maybe not.
Sticks is like, what the
you
fuck
just
have I
just his
walked
little
into?
fucking PFP just like hanging there. Sticks.
Hello.
Whoa.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're coming through. Hold on. Go again. Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Wait, can you hear me now?
Yeah. There we go.
Oh,
We can hear you,
sorry.
buddy.
Fuck, that was bad. All right, we good. What's up?
What's
what
up,
have we been
man?
talking about?
Oh, man.
Talking about Instagram.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, man. The Poad's in a dark spot. Like, there's nothing to talk about
Surely
in
it's
crypto.
to the market bottom if we're talking about it.
It might as well be, bro. Honestly.
Nah.
That's so funny.
We were talking about like how, if you came up with Bitcoin like earlier on in like when it was 2012 to 2017, like how amazing that would have felt. like not just because you made a lot of money, but just been like how novel it was at the time. And then like to see like where it came to, like there would be like this element of like, holy shit, like this is so cool. Whereas like coming into it now, like you don't really give a shit about it as much. Like you like digital gold, you know, or whatever it may be, like Michael Saylor, Donald Trump, Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, like all of that shit. But like it's not quite the same as, you know, being around when like there was a few hundred people that cared about it, and now there's like
Yeah.
the world that cares about it.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy how like you could have been like had so much conviction, like the people that are holding for the last 10 years, and you're just like, no, you've been so right all along.
Yeah, I was gonna say like what did I say? One, it was like the best litmus test is just ask someone if they're buying it now as to why they didn't buy it in the past, because it's the exact same tech. Like nothing has changed about it. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just pouring myself a whiskey. Cool. So now we
I'm
have
about to eat some Haagen-Dazs ice cream.
I'm having a
nice.
Golden Gate time.
You are having a Golden Gate time. American listeners will be like, "What?"
Yeah. Oh, true. Yeah, I don't know why I said that, but it's yummy. It's a yummy ice cream.
You're not helping the case there, Sticks. Cool. All right. So yeah, no, I think that was a cool little topic, Swiss. Like, so Sticks. There was one other thing I did mention, like in that previous thing. I was kind of like, you know, if you bought Bitcoin 2017, hell, even 2021, it felt like there was like an asymmetric play to it all. Like when you were buying it, it was like I could put like 5% of my net worth into this, and then it could turn into like 50% of my net worth, or like 80% of my net worth, because like and I could like write it to zero. Whereas like now the asymmetry doesn't really seem to be there anymore. Like it's just the feel from it. Like you think about like the challenges and the road that was ahead for Bitcoin at its time, and like crypto overall, and you think about like now, like we've just come out like a week or two ago around the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, and like, you know, Donald Trump's holding a crypto conference, and like Michael Saylor's there, and you've got them all talking about crypto, like and like it's not the same anymore, if you know what I mean. Like now buying it seems to be like, well, we've kind of reached the end game here. Well, not in terms of price, but just in terms of like social acceptance. I don't know what you think about that, and do you still think that there's like an asymmetry in it, or is the game a little bit different now?
I still think it's like if you were to compare someone that puts their 401k in the S&P 500 as opposed to someone who puts their 401k in like Bitcoin, they're obviously gonna like completely outperform them over like 30 years, I still think. But in terms of like, yeah, that you can't. I think like Donald did a tweet about it recently. But like you literally can't, like if you have like $5,000, you can't expect to like flip that into like six figures in Bitcoin anymore. Like it's just not like, unless you have like a 30-year time horizon. Not as in like in 2020 when it was like not socially accepted. There was not really any TradFi backings behind it, whether that be like a futures or the spot ETF now that we've got, and now the government sort of stepping in. But all those narratives have played out. But I mean, like, I still think like it's like still going to be the best performing asset over like X period of time. But yeah, you're not going to get the insane returns
You're not
of
buying
pre
like
$2020.
$100 Bitcoin and getting
No,
like
like you can't expect to, like, as I said, if you like have 5K net worth. And this is what pisses me off about like all those dudes like Donald and stuff. They like clown on all these meme coiners and stuff, and it's like, well, bro, like they're late to the Ponzi. Well, they're not like late, but like unless you have significant size, it's like these people have like 3K to their name. It's like, well, obviously they're gonna try to fucking buy a meme coin like
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
20x's. Like they're not gonna fucking put it in Bitcoin. Like even if they put it in Bitcoin, like in fucking 2020, yeah, wow, they turned 5K into like 12K, no, like 12, 13K. Like wow,
Yeah.
like super life changing. Like
Yeah.
obviously, yeah, you outperformed index funds, but it's like this. Obviously, you should be outperforming index funds. It's such a risky asset.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's still gonna. I mean, look, I would, if I was working, I'd fucking put 50% of my like 401k equivalent into Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Do you
because it's like 30 years is a long time, but yeah.
it is, yeah. Do you think that like the fact that people come into crypto now and they're sort of bypassing the whole tech aspect to it, like the whole, investable side of crypto, and they're going straight into like how can I make money ASAP side? Like, do you think that's got like
Oh.
negative externalities on like how this sort of plays out? Because I feel like one of the memes that goes around is like, I'm in it for the tech, right? Like the new class or the new entrants, like they're not staying for the tech per se anymore. They're staying for the memes, but like memes can only last so long in terms of like keeping your attention. Whereas at least like you can bag hold tech for a lot longer than you probably should. Do you think that like that changes like how new entrants like hold positions and continue to play the game on the longer term?
I think it's like I think there was like, that financial nihilism narrative or whatever going around when memes are popping off, and obviously I was like a part of it because I was like, fucking,
Yeah,
like there's
same.
nothing else to buy, and then they the VCs pivoted and started launching like AI scams, and like they claimed there was utility to it, obviously, and it's like, well, like obviously I partaked in that in some form of like trying to make money on it, but then they were like saying this the tech, and then some people actually agreed with it, and they're like the tech, and then there was all the meme coiners getting pissed off
Yeah.
because it's like, well, this isn't real tech, but like there's like 10% of it is like somewhat of some tech, but it's not worthy of this valuation, whatever. And so it got like, I feel like CT has gotten to a point where there's like the people, like the dot eths, or like just like, even like the hype maxis, or like just like anyone, and they're like, yeah, like other people that are like really like tech, because I originally like was in it for the tech, obviously, like most of us. And then it quickly like pivoted to like memes because like, well, nothing else was going up. I had to like play it. And like, I mean, I do like buying memes. They're pretty fucking funny. But yeah, it's gone to a point now on CT where it's like half the TL is like trying to be utility maxis, and then half the TL is just like crying because all their memes are down. And it's like, I don't even know where the fuck, like, if you're a new participant, like, what do you even like, what do you even look at? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, do you buy the tech? Do you buy like the memes that are down 95%? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but then, yeah, I think like the issue was memes were like really cool when, like probably 6 months ago. And I mean, they're still funny as fuck, but it's like after like they tokenized every single like word, every single like attention moment, it just became like super tiresome, I think.
Mm.
Um
Well,
and
you
I think
can't
that's
rally the crew, like you can't rally the boys to all go around like one particular coin, because like if one of your
yeah,
boys was late, then he goes, "Oh,
he goes
I'm gonna go somewhere
I'm
else."
going to the next one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he
It's like
tries
I
to
saw
go to the other friends and be like, "Hey, fuck that one, come join this one," and then it like,
yeah.
yeah,
Whereas like at the start of this meme coin bull run, like I just remember there was like Pepe, Whiff, and
yeah,
there was a couple on ETH, and then there was a couple, like there was like 3 or 4 on Sol, like Popcat Harambe. There was like a couple, and there was obviously the ETH one. So it was like 10 in total, plus like Doge Shiba. So it was like super easy to just like pick one and be a
yeah,
part of one, and then it was like, yeah. And that's the whole issue with this cycle. It was like last cycle it was like super easy And the reason they went so high was like there's like 4 meme coins that were on spot markets on like big exchanges. It was like Doge, Shiba, fucking Floki, and like I don't know, there was like Safe Moon or some shit, and that's it. Like there was like nothing else.
And
it
even
was
if you
like,
weren't into memes, like people rallied around like AVAX, Solana, Luna.
yeah, like yeah. See, there was like there was like these Ponzi's with like, and that's what like the AI coins or like some other like this newer coins are like this cycle. I mean, there's just obviously dilution, but it's like those are like the fake utility. Like on AVAX, it's like Time Wonderland. It's like the Ponzi. Like, but it was like obviously always gonna fail. But in the moment, you're like making so much money, you don't actually think that.
No.
So yeah, I feel like there'll be something new. Like there'll be something that like we don't even fucking know what it is right now. In I don't know, like 1 year, 2 years time, and it'll be like so similar in a way to like NFT bull run, meme coin bull run, but like we just don't know yet. There'll just be something. There always is. It's like I couldn't envisage what was going to be bigger than like an NFT bull run. And like, yeah, you could like this is the thing. People said like the meme coin super cycle sucked. It's like, well, how did it suck? Like literally there was thousands of wallets with unrealized $1 to $10 million. It's like
there was like every man and
bro,
his dog had a fucking 6-figure.
bro, the top there was Bongai, the top PopCat wallet had like 30 mil at one point. Like
But
it was like
not
it
even
was bigger, bro.
Even if you ignore those guys, right? Like if you just look at the general populace, there was a lot of people that turned 5 figures into 6.
No, yeah, and like you wouldn't have been able to do that last cycle with
No.
NFTs because most people couldn't afford the NFT to begin with. If you know what I mean. Like if it got past that 10K threshold, like most people didn't even have 10K. Most people have like 2-3K to play with, and that's what they would chuck into these memes, and then they flip 3K into like 50K or 100, or if they were crazy, like 500K.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, some would obviously sell and make like generational wealth, but like, yeah, most obviously the same as the apes have round tripped. And it's like, I don't understand this. Like the move, like it hasn't started. Like, bro, like everyone, like there was, if you just look at every coin at the peak, and like I know there's like 3 or 4 of the top wallets were exchanges for some of the big coins, but there was like heaps of those AI coins, heaps of those like smaller memes that got to like 100 mil or whatever, bro. Like there was like 20 wallets that had like unrealized $1 million on every one of those coins. Like, it wasn't like this. Like, I mean, it's I don't get this. Like, oh, it hasn't started yet, bro. Like it was bigger in more respect. It just diluted, so it looked smaller because there was so many coins. You know. Yeah.
Probably just backtrack on one of the comments you made there, and Swiss, you might want to chime in there as well. But Sticks, did you just say 1 to 2 years before anything happens interesting again?
Well, no, I think there'll still be stuff that happens because I'm holding like some bags right now. I'm holding like Hype, Poad, and some Fartcoin. But
you heard it here
I'm
first,
saying
boys.
something new aside from memes and NFTs.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what it is.
The bear market has started.
Yeah, I tend to agree as well.
I mean, I can't see. Yeah.
No, you go, man. You go.
No, I'm just saying, like, I just can't see a coin that goes bigger than Trump. Like, there's just no way. As in, like a meme coin.
Oh yeah.
Like, what's bigger than like the president of the United States launching a meme coin?
Yeah.
I'm saying meme coins. Like, there could be like something completely fucking crazy that happens.
Yeah.
And I'm positioned for that as a coping hype maxi. But yeah, aside from that, nah, I can't see like a meme coin that goes bigger than that. No way.
Yeah. So Swiss, what were we saying?
Sorry, Swiss, you go.
I think the tune of still being bullish, but things are going to return to value is like quite bearish in itself, because it means that you're like, it means that you sort of
saying
disregard.
the speculation aspect is over.
Yeah, but that's why we're here. I mean, it was just speculation, but speculation like mostly not on your bags, as I've come to learn. So yeah, I definitely think that like the whole return to value is very bearish. Even if it is true, it's not you know, you're not going to get an influx of liquidity like we did for like AI virtuals or
No.
like whiff and shit on your utility coins. But in saying that, it means that I don't know if the worst is out of the way, but it definitely gives me a little bit of sort of perspective about where we are in the cycle. Like, you can kind of start to see things where they are and what they've done and how they're holding up. So if something's holding up relatively well in these conditions, it means that there must be something there that people are sort of drawn to, even when times are tough. I'm not saying it's like a return to utility, but yeah, or a return to value, but it's just these conditions are kind of good if you are paying attention now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And like you see that in stock markets too, right? Like through all throughout history, like there's the value investors, they tend to do well when like markets are bearish. And like as in when I say markets, I mean like your index fund type arrangements with like your S&Ps and that, and then the people that do well when the market's bullish are the ones that are in the high price to earnings ratio stocks that on paper overvalued, but there's the speculation aspect to it because you don't know what it's valued, so then therefore what people are willing to pay is a lot higher. So I think it, like you said, Swiss, it does give you a good feel and an indication as to where we are like in the cycle, or like where we are in like the current state of the market. But then there's some guy fucking trying to scam some shit in the Twitch chat. I need to try and get rid of him. But yeah, I totally agree with that. So probably just switching topics a little bit. I was keen to get you guys' thoughts on the whole Bitcoin Strategic Reserve and like the Trump crypto forum that they had at the White House like a week or so ago. I've seen like a few takes that were like relatively bearish the whole thing, and I've seen some that were like somewhat optimistic, but like with a longer term view. I don't know what you guys think. Maybe start with you, Swiss.
Yeah, I think it's pretty decent. I think it definitely sets a tone of direction for the asset in terms of acceptance. I think the actual proposal is that it's like $1 million a year for 5 years and then not being able to sell it for 20, I think it was, or something like that. $1 million seems kind of low, personally. But I think what they have ruled on is that they're not going to sell anything they currently have in their possession.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's genuinely pretty positive. I don't know how substance generating the outcome of where it is currently at is, because of the fact of how much it was given weight during the lead up to the election. And so until they actually start buying, or they've announced that they're buying, then it'll be a different story. So yeah, I think it's all pretty positive. It's just a lot of news at the moment and not actual like impact on the markets yet.
Yeah, nice. What about you, Sticks?
I thought it was like super fucking bearish short term. That like I remember on the pod a few weeks ago, I was like, oh, like I don't know, Trump. They said they were going to do a strategic reserve. That'll probably be in a few months, so that'll be good once like market should pump when that happens. And like we pumped obviously like when they said it, and then like we just kept retracing it, and then he'll say another thing, and then we'll go up again, and then we'll just retrace again. So like super like bearish short term on it. But I think it got to a point on the TL like 1 to 2 or 3 days ago where like there was all these like meme coin dudes that had like round tripped all their bags and like hadn't sold anything for a profit, that had like turned bearish, and I was like, fuck, surely we're close to a bottom. Like there's no way these dudes have like gone like to perps and are like bearish now. But in terms of like the Bitcoin reserve, I think it's like really bullish long term. It might like it might be like, you know, a bit choppy this year, the entire market, just because like, you know, they're pricing in Trump's, the whole administration doing new things, and it's a bit of uncertainty. But I think like if they price all these things in and like nothing bad happens this year, I think it'll be like really positive in the next like 1 to 2 to 3 years.
Mm.
I just think everything will just take a little bit longer, just because they're just processing how he's going to affect the economy and stuff. And I mean, we did go up only, and so did the stock market for 2 years. Like, it probably needs a. I'm not saying it's going to go down. I'm just saying it probably just needs to relax a bit, just chop, or
Yeah. Okay.
just chill.
Yeah.
But I'm like bullet, like, obviously 30-year time, 20-year time horizon. It's like so bullish. Like, I don't even think there'll probably be a few stocks, obviously, like some AI or quantum stocks that outperform it, obviously. But like, if you're comparing like an index fund like the Nasdaq or the S&P to a Bitcoin, like, Bitcoin will outperform it easily.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. Like, I guess my view on the whole thing, like, obviously there's the whole like mantra around like when you have bullish news and price doesn't react to it, then it's bearish. And I think
Yeah.
the last month or so has sort of been like a very strong case of that. Like, we've had the SEC basically saying that meme coins are like not what is securities. The BSR announcement. Like, we've had all of these different things that have been like had these news events like came out like a few months ago, like 3-4 months ago, like that would have like sent prices like ballistic. And obviously I think the whole macro environment with like the tariffs and all of that are like muting any sort of like response and risk assets
Mm.
overall. But I do think one of the most like, I don't know, underspoken about or like discounted aspects of like the official announcement that they had the other day, because like obviously they couldn't say that they were going to spend anything, because like monetary spending in government needs to be like, it needs to have levels of approval in Congress, whereas with what they did announce was basically that they weren't going to sell. And I think that's like a really bullish aspect to it, because like the whole notifying that you're going to be like, buy pressure is one thing but sell pressure is another, and like ultimately like everything's like supply versus demand. And given the amount that the government like has on its like books, that like, well, there was all this FUD about like a month or two ago that they were like trying to sell everything and liquidate it ahead of like Trump's election. Like, that is a significant portion of supply that is now not going to enter the market.
Mm.
And I think that is not really been priced in at this point. But like, I think the future, it potentially was priced in at the time of the election, which is potentially why it's just like sort of stayed where it was. But I think the longer term effects, it's like similar to like the halving, right? Like, the halving is bullish over the course of the halving, because like over time supply reduces and the impact of that gets felt, because you don't have this like constant selling from miners. And it's like, well, now we've got one of the biggest holders of Bitcoin basically saying that they're not going to sell. Like, that is in itself like a really good supply reduction, and should lead to a really good outcome for price over the long term. So
Mm.
I think for me that was the biggest takeaway. I think people like being bearish on it are just simply being bearish because price didn't go up. And so like I feel like when price does go up eventually, like the amount of like narrative and kumbaya around like Bitcoin's price going up and the government and that, like you'll see it like come a lot stronger. But there'll be people that were bearish now that are suddenly be bullish on the fact that it's happening. So that was like kind of my biggest takeaway. Um, I, they also did mention that they weren't going to sell some of the other assets that they had on the books, which like don't really give two shits about, given that like they're much smaller holdings, and they didn't really signal any intention to do any like further buying of those assets. But yeah, I think like overall I think it's a really bullish thing. I just don't think we're
Mm.
in like the conditions overall in a financial market like for it to be able to like digest itself properly. And we did like
Yeah.
speed run price like significantly like at the election. So I wouldn't be surprised if like,
I priced it all in like a crypto friendly administration
yeah,
when
Yeah.
Trump won.
Yeah.
Everything fucking gets priced in.
Yeah, it's all priced in. Fucking
It's so shit.
yeah.
They price it in straight away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
If it's an efficient asset like a stock or a big like CME traded like Bitcoin, like it gets priced in now. I've learned that I think over the last 6 months.
Yeah, and I think like
Crazy.
I feel like the buy side, like because it's so telegraphed, like it becomes a much more complicated game. Like with the ETFs, like you get these like huge buys, but because like everyone knows that the buys are going to happen, there's like all of these like OTC deals and all these things that happen in the background that like ensure that like the spot price doesn't move as much. So like it just becomes like too complicated of a game for smaller players to like try and front run. Whereas like I feel like there's moments like these where like people lose their belief system because they're like, well, price isn't doing it, so fuck me, I've round tripped everything, fuck, and then like it's the boring lull periods of time that you really want to think to be allocating. Like I'm not saying like now's the best time to allocate, but it's like when it's boring for long enough, like that's the best time to be interested and to take positions, because the people would have been like, well, all of these shit has happened, so I'm just going to move on, and then they'll get caught by surprise, like when it does eventually, if it does eventually like sort of bounce back again. So yeah,
I agree with that. I think overall it's been kind of boring in terms of the cycle so far. Like apart from anything that's been like socially entertaining or funny, it's not been the most like, I didn't feel like I went down another stage of the rabbit hole too much. I mean, maybe ordinals and runes, but that was well before the massive pump that we had in like October, November.
I mean, if you're comparing like last cycle, there was like so much new shit that came out, and then this cycle, like there's only like been that people actually like, I'm saying stuff that people actually use on a daily basis is like Polymarket, which is like another gambling site, but you can use crypto. And then it's like Pump Fund, but that's like kind of just mass extracted. So it's like, yeah, whatever. Like that was used. And then there's HyperLiquid, which like is obviously really cool exchange, like for perps trading and stuff like that without a KYC. But like yeah, you're right, Swiss. There hasn't been like much new shit, and I did go down the ordinals rabbit hole as well at some point, but it's
I think DeFi got a lot more efficient. I just don't think it was as sexy to kind of have that as an interest. Like I definitely know from speaking to a few people that are way smarter than me that they've gone, oh yeah, this thing's like hot as, and it's Aerodrome on base. I'm like, Uniswap second version, like what do you like? What's this all about? And it's like, I read an article today on the way back, and it was all to do around aligning incentives of like Treasury, DAO, token holders, LPs, and all this stuff. And it was super interesting to read because I didn't realize that Uniswap had this like massive issue about allocation of resources and making their chain or protocol better optimized for, I don't know, synergy, maybe, if that's the right word. So I didn't know that there was like iterations of this that solved a few of those issues and whatnot. Because when you first got in, it was like Uniswap V1, and then it was Uniswap V2, and then now there's like a million other dexes that do things that are different, but they're constantly optimizing and improving on what Uniswap did. It's just, it gets less and less sexy to kind of look at the 15th, 100th iteration of something and go and get excited. But yeah.
Nah, for sure, for sure. Slight pivot, but Sticks, obviously you mentioned HyperLiquid, and I know we keep ranting about it, but not talking about HyperLiquid specifically, I wanted to bring up the HyperLiquid degen. And what do you guys
Did
think?
you see what he changed his name to?
Yeah, the Tetherfud or something now.
Tetherfud.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So like the last like week or two has been quite interesting. So for those that don't know, there's a guy on HyperLiquid, because HyperLiquid's on an L1. Then you can obviously see the positions. It's all public information on the explorers, leading up into the March 7th event when Trump was doing the crypto thing. Well, actually, it was like before the announcement, I think, of the Strategic Reserve and whatnot. Some guy took on like $100 million position in Bitcoin and Ethereum, leading into the announcement, and like people were like, "What the fuck? What does this guy know? Oh, this is potential for this." He ended up like price ended up like surging like significantly on the day, and then he ended up cashing out like 10 mil or something, like nothing, like it was a lot, but considering how much leverage he had on, because like he had like liquidation like less than 1% away from like his entry, he was able to walk out of that alive, and from that point on, he cashed out, probably cashed out a bit too early, but nonetheless he still made a lot of money. So there was a lot of speculation that he was an insider. Anyway, a few days later, old mate fucking decides again he's going to take on some stupid crazy position. People copy trade him because they were like, "Oh, what does this guy know?" And then like timelines like, "What does he know? What does he know?" Anyway, his position goes into profit. He starts withdrawing his margin, so his USDC from his HyperLiquid account, and then effectively, I think he walked away slightly in profit, if not like in negative. But what ended up happening was that like it was an ETH position of all things, fucking hell. But the ETH position got liquidated, and then HLP had to take on that debt, and then had to liquidate that position via HyperLiquids, which meant that the HLP protocol actually took on some bad debt, and there was like some theories around him trying to fuck up the protocol, and now he's like constantly doing this, and like I think he did a link long and all sorts of shit. So yeah, anyway, that's the background on it. What do you guys think? Does this guy like some sort of insider? Is this guy like North Korea fucking trying to kill HyperLiquid, or is he just like a degen? Is it like Baron Trump just like thinking that he knows how to trade?
I
Brother,
think
I
it's
got no clue.
I think
Honestly,
it's just a
there's a lot
retard.
of big words, a lot of things that I have no clue about, and I'm just gonna say it's CZ. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's CZ
It's
trying to kill his
CZ.
competition.
Yeah.
Trying to kill the competition. Nah, I think it's just a genuine retard. Like, but the funniest part is like, how can you be that retarded and have that much money unless like obviously you're an insider? So it's like okay, maybe I just can't see how he like walks away with this cleanly. It'll either be he like destroys the protocol, like he destroys Hyperliquid, or like he like loses everything. Like I don't think there's like any in between.
Yeah.
Like he's getting one or the other. The Hyperliquid have taken all their money, or he's like giving fucking the Hyperliquid some really fucking bad debt. I think he's like short Bitcoin now or something.
Yeah, I need to find
He's like
his
short with like
addy.
300 mil or something.
Oh,
That's
if
insane.
anyone's got his addy, please send it through.
Nah, no way, Baron. Like one of the
It's
Trumps.
nah, like
Ah,
like
maybe it is.
I do think it's funny though. Like you mentioned, Six, that he's changed his name to Tetherfud. Like, is that like some sort of like
Bro, imagine there is like something that comes out tomorrow.
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Um,
there'll be. I'm just like, I don't know. This industry's cooked. Like, how the fuck does this dude know everything?
yeah,
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 that would be. Because like I thought he was obviously an insider at the start, but then like when he did all the link long or whatever it was, I'm like, this guy's just like retarded. I think.
yeah, yeah,
But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see tomorrow. Otherwise, like he's genuinely just a retard. If he doesn't if like nothing actually happens with like Tether.
Oh my god. Okay.
It'd be so funny. So like I think he's like short with like 300 mil on BTC, or like am I tweaking? I don't know. I saw a
Let's
post.
hope he's a retard and he doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
300 mil short's insane.
Yeah, like the amount of okay, I think I've
I
found.
mean, he'd have a very tight liquidation because it's obviously leveraged up a lot, but fuck me.
Yeah, no, like I do think like what it does remind me of, and I think Stinkley's in here, and he mentioned it the other day, but like back last cycle, funnily enough, there when the bear market sort of hit, there was a protocol GMX, which I unironically back then was like quite bullish on and had positions in, leading into like 2023, and so like GMX was like the one of the only protocols that was like doing any sort of like actual revenue, and you could like value it off of like how much it was making per day, etc. So it was very like similar to HyperLiquid. Just the background on it wasn't quite the same with the founders and the team and all of that. But there eventually what happened was there was that guy, I think it was the guy that ended up going to jail. And then he took like some crazy positions on GMX and then also on like centralized exchanges and other platforms to like sort of manipulate the price. And then he ended up like wrecking a lot of GMX's pool from doing so. So like there's definitely strong vibes of that coming through, but just the Hyperliquid team were able to adjust quickly, sort of prevent further damage. But yeah, if it's not that, then like bro's obviously a fucking retard, and I would enjoy watching him getting liquidated. Because I think it would be some
My
cool lore.
bias, my bias
Yeah,
is
my bag
if
bias is
Liquid
sticking through, but yeah,
is
it is a reason for concern for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, nah, cool. So slightly switch of topic here. Did you guys see that chess is trying to remove bishop being called bishop as the piece?
What are they changing it to?
Well, they don't like the word bishop because it's associated with religion.
Oh, fuck's sake.
What's this?
So if you go to
What,
chess,
like
if you look up chess like the on Twitter and then you go to the chess.com profile, there is
Yeah.
they they are accepting new name ideas for the bishop piece. And
Jesus Christ.
yeah, so
The horse? Oh no, that's not it. That's the.
yeah, so
Oh,
Ignore me.
yeah, so yeah, anyway,
Jesus.
just
That's crazy.
bear market vibes, but yeah, it's I noticed it made headlines on my Twitter feed today. I was like, man, like what does this world come to? And like we can't
Yeah.
even call the fucking chess piece name.
Yeah,
Anyway.
literally.
That's interesting actually. Probably a good thing that I don't know actually how to correctly I don't even know the pieces. There you go.
There you
So
go. There you go. So
I
everyone
don't mind a good chess
play
game.
Swiss and chess. You might have an edge.
Yeah, you will. I might play you in chess.
how was
No.
your trip to Brisbane, Sticks?
Ah, yeah, that was very enjoyable until the cyclone warnings commenced, and then I was rushing to get out because my girlfriend basically like her family, she has like two sisters that have like little children, and they were gonna go all to like her parents' place to stay, and I was like, no, like power screaming children, like yeah, maybe we should bounce. And like we had things, I mean, she had work starting like the next week as well, but I was like, yeah, it's it was really good there until we had to sadly leave early. Like it was good to,
I
because
didn't even
I'd
get to
never been.
see you.
I know. It was hilarious how you were in Melbourne and I was
Yeah.
in your hometown, Brisbane. But no, it was really fun. I thought it took me like a day or two to get used to the climate because it's so fucking humid. Like 30 degrees there feels so different to like 30 degrees in Melbourne. It's just like so humid and yeah, it's really but it's good. I like it. It was fun.
Mm.
Yeah,
Brisbane's chill, man. I feel. I think it's good.
Yeah,
it is.
Brisbane, it is cool. I actually really enjoyed it. I was like first day I was like skeptical just because it was like super hot, like wasn't wasn't used to the climate, but then yeah, no, it's cool. It's a cool city, that's for sure.
Well, you totally missed out on that cyclone because it was so eventful.
Yeah, yeah. You didn't really cop anything bad,
Nothing,
I'm
like
assuming.
nothing happened, bro. Like,
That's what
yeah,
I mean. No, I think
oh,
the risk was like, I mean, like obviously, yeah, like I mean, they didn't even lose power where
nah,
we were
neither
staying,
did
but it
I.
was like I just didn't want to
Yeah.
get stuck
Oh,
there if it
of
was
course,
bad,
yeah.
and like couldn't get a flight back, and we had to do stuff the
It
next
could
week.
have been
So
bad, but yeah, holy fuck, it
yeah,
was the
it
biggest
wasn't.
nothing burger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I remember going to the shops to like help my girlfriend like get some stuff for her family, and it was like people like fighting over like bottled water. I was like, oh god. Like there was like no bottled water left when we got there. I was like, oh fuck. Like
Jesus Christ.
really? This COVID all over again. Fuck
Yeah,
me,
seriously.
man.
Actually, so I've got a slightly political take on all of this, but like I did think it was very funny and slightly concerning how like everyone responded to the whole event. It was like government says go
Yeah.
home. Oh, yep, we're gonna go home. You're like, we can work from home,
Yeah.
we can do this. It was like COVID all over again. It's like,
Nah, bro, it's so fucked. Like they could literally just be like, we will give you a small UBI, just stay in your house and never leave, and everyone would do that.
yeah.
We'll give you universal basic income while the AGI agents do everything, and you guys are not allowed to leave the house, but you will get food provided for you. And it's like,
Yeah. And there's an
fuck.
election coming up, so
Oh god.
yeah.
Yeah, no, Australia's we're turbo cooked, but um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Um,
yeah, no, it would be so different in America, but yeah.
all right. So one last really nerdy crypto thing. I don't know if you guys paid attention to it, but did you guys see the news about the Solana SIMD-0228 thing?
I did.
No,
Like,
explain it to me.
Super exciting, man.
very exciting, very nerdy. So basically, it was a governance proposal, so that would allow Solana to not have as much inflation because the inflation rate would change based off of activity on the chain. Very similar to like ETH with EIP 1444, whatever it is. I've probably totally got that wrong, so forgive me. But yeah, so basically, like if the chain's busy, fucking the inflation rate changes, and if it's not busy then it changes again. It's all around security because like if the chain's dead, you don't want like a super high inflation rate because then validators would make a lot of money, and then potentially the larger validators could like potentially fuck up the chain a bit. Anyway, it ended up being heavily voted against, which was like opposite to where people thought it was going to go, because majority of like, I think the Solana Foundation was backing it. I felt like a lot of like the Carl Salamis and that were like all backing it to sort of happen. Anyways, it didn't happen and it got voted against. And it was the largest attended, the largest amount of governance votes ever on any proposal, on any chain.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, what the interesting sort of outcome of it was like it was, like a show off on how decentralized Solana actually is, because the validators all came out and voted against it, because I think the main concern was like if they did change it, then yes, the inflation rate drops, but then it means that the smaller validators stop making as much money. So there's like a risk on that aspect of it as well. So like it's like almost like the big block, little block Bitcoin event. And people are probably gonna like rip me over that, but like that's kind of my sort of very non-nuanced take, from an outsider perspective looking in. But yeah, so Solana actually did something interesting, for once in a long time.
Yeah, that does sound pretty interesting.
So yeah, you can look it up. It's the Suck My Dick Proposal 228. sorry, it's SIMD-0228. Um, but yeah, it does sort of signal to me that maybe there's something potentially that could happen at Solana. Especially with the SEC doing a review of the ETF applications in currently. Like, I think there's potentially a narrative there, because like the biggest sort of downfall of the Solana narrative was like how centralized it is, etc., etc. So
Yeah.
because a lot of the validators are subsidized from the Solana Foundation, and given such a turnout against this proposal, I think it's sort of showing to the network and the community that, hey, there is actually a lot of people behind this, and we do have some independence here. So yeah, thought that was pretty cool. Not often we get these like sort of big turn of events, and like it's probably one of these things that like gets buried under the rug for now because of like how boring price action's been. But I think in like a few months' time, it's probably one of those like things that comes back as like a narrative. It's like back in March or back in February 2025, this happened, and this was like the early days of Solana. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Even
It
Van
is interesting.
Van Eck, the investment platform, they voted as well, which is cool because they have a validator.
Yes, they followed.
Your boy says, yeah, so Solana should look at whatever ETH did and potentially do the opposite.
I
So
was just
true.
about to fucking say that. I was like, this gives me like eerie vibes of like post NFT bull run. Like now we're post meme coin cycle like craziness, and now they're doing all these like techie fucking changes. It's like, yes, we should so change everything because that worked well for Ethereum. Like we shouldn't follow what Bitcoin does and keep like the first thing they ever did the same. Like, no, let's just change everything.
Well, I was just thinking about this, but it's interesting that it was voted no against, because making the chain less deflationary sounds like a better overall outcome for everyone involved. So when they were talking about
ETH.
the stakers that have like little amounts, I was wondering if they might have to come in with like a 32 minimum, like what ETH had, to be able to be a validator for this reason. And I just keep thinking that they're going to end up going down this path to be just like Ethereum. And so,
yeah, 100%. That's so fucked. Thinking about it in that way of like, yeah, they're copying ETH is like so bad.
But yeah, it's actually a cool
yeah.
point though. Like you said, like if the evidence doesn't support that this was a good move so far. And back to the utility conversation before, like all of those utility cycles or metas have always like been very short-lived and have never really had these like really great returns. And it's always felt like whenever the market tries to steer decisions around, we should make things more sustainable, blah blah blah, it's always had a negative outcome rather than a positive one. So it's like counterintuitive to a degree, because you think that like, oh, this is better for price, but like it feels like whenever the market like optimizes for price, it doesn't get rewarded for it, but when it doesn't optimize for price, then it does.
So
true. I agree with that.
I was always, it's like as soon as an asset becomes like super comfortable, like you feel comfortable holding it, it's like usually like the worst. It's like I felt so comfortable holding Ethereum because they were so like, because they had the fucking, they were not proof of work, so they were like, they appealed to like the fucking ESG fucking firms that you think like, oh, like, yeah, they're safe because like, there's investment requirements now for like fucking all this ESG shit. And then it's like, yeah, price was good, and then they did all these upcoming narratives for ETH, and it's like, no, it's like the opposite.
Yeah, no, for
Like the
sure.
opposite. Solana, no one wanted to fucking touch it in the bear market. Ansem was telling everyone to buy it at 20. No one wanted to fucking buy it. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty funny, hey?
Yeah, no, for
Yeah.
sure. Cool. So I was keen to, like, I know you and iSticks talked about Fartcoin before. I've noticed a lot of like people like Gainsey and all of that are starting to talk about Fartcoin.
Oh,
Are
this is not
you
good for me.
still like bullish on Fartcoin? Is like,
Well, I bought some the other day at 23 cents.
mm.
And now that like I'm seeing other people commented, I'm not getting very
So you did
but
a one-on-one stream with Shay Govlin,
yeah,
um
yeah.
and
I
you
bought some literally like after that, and then I bought some more like 3 days ago.
could you explain to our loyal followers, all 8 of them listening right now, 7 now, um about why it was a good idea? Because I personally just can't see it, so I'm trying to. I'm a noob that I don't find the joke that funny. Can you explain to me?
Well, I was going off like what I have previously made mistakes on. So like I thought like Ticker Bitcoin is like the funniest fucking meme of all time. Like I just think it's like hilarious. I still do. But like I know for a fact that like my normie friends like just don't find that funny at all. Like they wouldn't
True.
they would like look at it and they'd be like, bro, what does that even mean? Like that's just like that's just like crazy. Like they wouldn't find it funny. They just find it like really like retarded or something, which is like a form of funny. But like I actually find it like hilarious because like the law is so funny. But with Fartcoin, what I noticed when it was going up was like it was really frustrating TradFi Twitter. Like they were looking at it and they were like, why? They were like, that we need to tighten financial conditions. There's a coin out there that's literally called Fartcoin and it's at 2 billion market cap. And it like really fucking pissed them off. And like I remember the joke of like it was like for me, I find it funny when like normies get pissed off about like crypto related stuff. So I was like, it's like gets funnier for me the higher it goes because like these TradFi people that like analyze stocks and like with PE ratios and are like dividend investors like getting so frustrated at like and like even what's his name what's his name Gorelli or whatever the
Martin
fuck his name
Shkreli,
is.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was getting like frustrated with like he's like, why is this valued at $1 billion? Like it's called fucking Fartcoin. And I'm like, yeah, I can see the appeal. And I'm like, considering it was like the first AI meme coin, I think it holds like, I mean, I'm not gonna say it holds like significance, but I think because it's doing so much, it has like so much open interest in comparison to like other memes on perps that like if Sol was to go back up, like this is just like the no-brainer that would run with Sol. Um, like it's obviously just like at the mercy of Solana's price action. It has like everything to do with Solana, but like if Solana goes up 10%, like Farcoin will go up like 30%. I think so. Um, so I bought some at like 20. I think the average was like 23 cents, and I'm like hoping I can get like a 3x or something on it, 4x. If like we get a little pocket of like bullishness.
Interesting.
Like I'm not like a fucking crazy bag holder with it. I just want to like try to make a lot of money really quickly with it because I think it's like the best Solana meme coin to buy.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not like. I wish I was dip wheeler $10, but like I'm not.
But Kalega812 says if we get another leg up in a meme rotation, Fartcoin definitely has big mind share and it'll probably do well.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like on Twitter, as I was saying, like I noticed it getting a lot of traction, not on CT, but like on TradFi Twitter. Like when it was going up, like there was all these like CFAs, like dudes with like LinkedIn profile pictures on their Twitter, like literally commenting like how we need to tighten financial conditions. Like we cannot have like a token created out of thin air called Fartcoin going to like $2 billion or whatever, the
Mm.
3 bill, whatever the top was. And yeah, you're right. Like it's not like a CT native meme like SPX or Ticker Bitcoin, but it has so much. It's like Doge. Like it has so much interest outside of just like CT. I think so. I think and considering it's doing like a lot of perps volume, if you go on like something like Bybit, it's like top 5, top 6 coins with like BTC ETH Sol right now. So that's why I was like, I liked it. And I'd previously traded Fartcoin. Like as I said, this is funny, but I bought it, like me buying it at 23 cents was like higher than I sold it for when I bought it. So I bought it 22 million before it started its huge leg up, and I sold it at like 160 mil. So I'm literally like buying it higher than what I sold it for originally, which is like not good, because usually if you do that, you usually get wrecked. But I'm hoping I don't. So yeah, that's just like something that I decided to buy. And I saw that like PK also built like a huge Farcoin position in the low 20s. I'm not sure if he's still holding, maybe he sold it, but like I saw, and he's usually pretty good with his trades. So yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
I might
That's
have to scrub my lack of belief. Maybe just maybe just take a cheeky position just for the lols. Because
yeah, hot air
because
does rise. So,
yeah, like it'd probably be one of those ones that like if it does pump, I'll be probably pretty mad with myself that I didn't do it, because
I think it's just if Solana, like at this point, it's like if Sol goes down tomorrow, like Fartcoin goes down tomorrow, like it's just
yeah,
like it's just beta to it's like a really heavy beta right now. Sol, it's not like, whereas like a lot of memes that are like a lot of memes I've noticed that like when Sol goes up, like these memes, like most of them just don't pump, but
yeah,
like Fartcoin has like sort of got like that, found its like local bottom at least, or may hopefully bottom, and it's
yeah,
like now that when Sol goes up like 4 or 5% in a day, like Fartcoin really moves. So
yeah.
yeah, just of its open interest in general, it looks like something people want to bid if Solana goes up.
Yeah, that's a good point. My like very short term take on it is it could be like the Pepe of the last period, when like we had the big lull, where like everyone got like very excited about Pepe, like this is the coin that does well, and then like when conditions do change, it doesn't necessarily do well out the gate, but then it ends up doing well later
Yeah,
on.
well, that's the thing. Pepe killed a lot of people off because it had a huge time-based capitulation. Like it ranged for like nearly a year,
Mm, mm,
and that's what like fucked me, because you see coins like Bonk go up in
mm,
like November of 2023, and like Pepe just wasn't moving, and you're like, you think to yourself, you're like, fuck, like this is a midwit like play.
mm. Yeah, yeah.
And I think Filecoin might do the same thing. So I need to like sort of take, just release myself from like caring, and just like believe, and just think like, yeah, this has a lot of open interest. So did Pepe. Eventually, once it did break out, it just like exploded. It didn't like go back. So maybe, yeah, maybe Fartcoin does something similar, where it just like ranges between 30 something and 20 or whatever, and just like, I don't know, until conditions change. I'm hoping I'm right, but yeah,
Interesting.
I do like it as a Solana beta right now. It's a better beta than like every other coin, like even better than better than Popcat, which I'm holding as well, and like it's much better beta right now than any of those. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Cool. Swiss, you obviously told me about some of the stuff that you were interested in, like pre-show, but is there anything that you're looking at currently, and like how you like navigating the current like fucking shit show of a boring market we've got right now?
Yeah, I mean, I probably should be buying Farcoin, but I have been buying Ethereum of all things. I think where it's at currently is an all-time low of hatred towards it. Like, I think it can go lower in terms of price, but I think
Wait, what's this?
Ethereum.
Well, Ethereum. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I think the overall bet to take on this asset being influential long term appeals to me. I think where it's currently at is at a low point. I think ETH BTC is like cooked. I just think that to take a proportionate bet against something so innovative as ETH now seems like a good idea, but I think the fact that it's sold off so much means that it can easily go down further. So it's like managed risk, but overall pretty bullish on it now. I still think like a lot of the ordinal rune stuff interests me a fair bit, but I don't know. Like I've kind of sobered up a little bit more around a lot of the terminology that's used, like when people talk about return to value. Like I definitely think we could have a period of dead price action for like 3 to 6 months, even a year. Like we could actually be in a bear market right now, considering the amount of like damage the Trump meme coin has done to the market.
Yeah.
Seriously.
No, it's done a lot of damage, that one coin.
Yeah, and I'm like kind of okay with that because I think like memes on chain, I wasn't really good at that, and so I didn't mind placing my bets on things that I thought could do well. And then I guess maybe the cycle didn't really go out or go up as much as we probably envisioned it, but for like utility stuff. But it's part of the gig, part of the game. So I'm happy to just keep exploring, doing a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm looking at Ink Chain at the moment, which is Kraken's chain. So they've got a few protocols there that I've chucked some ETH into.
So is
and
Ink Chain a L1 or an L2?
layer 2.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't know. I just know that I can bridge my ETH over there, so maybe it is a layer 2 or will be a layer 1. But I like it. Like, there's not much ETH over there. Like, I just deposited into iETH, which is their LST, and there's only 107.
Sounds like an L2.
Yeah, there's only 107 ETH there, and I was like, oh, that seems like a
That
pretty good
sounds
place to
pretty
park some
cool.
ETH.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just doing a lot of that, man, and just keeping interested as much as I can. I think, like, I think the only counterpoint I have to Fartcoin, I think it can definitely do well and get like a pretty decent bounce, is just the sheer fact of it was consensus at one point to hold it, and then now that it
Down
might not be like,
95%.
yeah, just like holding like
Well, it was
Bitcoin.
consensus. I kept saying like Fartcoin to $10 like on my timeline, and that was like obviously the top. And then now when it was at 20 mil, no one really wanted to. I mean, it's with all memes, but then some of them die and then some survive. So it's like, place your bets, I guess.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see if there isn't something else that overthrows it as like the dominant meme if memes were to come back. Like if Fartcoin went to $1.15, like is there going to be something else or a category of something else that ends up going to like 4 billion in the span of what Fartcoin does? So yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see what happens there. But overall, I think that like the space isn't technically in a bear market other than price. I still think there's a lot of interesting things out there, and it's just about, for me anyway, just trying to find ways to stay interested and keep looking around.
I think, I totally agree. I think the most bullish thing right now is obviously just for Bitcoin, like the stablecoin market cap is like still at like all-time highs basically, and like we have all this regulatory framework for like stable coins, which is probably like the most utilized thing in crypto and the best thing in crypto. And like a lot of that, like a lot of stablecoin money going into Bitcoin perpetually, like DCing into Bitcoin is just like so bullish. But like Bitcoin itself, well, not necessarily anything else, but just like money, like stablecoin market cap going up only forever, like just signals because Bitcoin's the largest asset. Like it's it's going to be bullish for Bitcoin long term.
Yeah.
I think, which is cool.
Yeah,
I
and I
think
think that the stable coins and Bitcoin alone are enough to kind of gauge that, like the stablecoin supply going up and then Bitcoin being socially accepted and also backed by Trump, is that you can kind of allow for like price to be shit for like 6 months or so, because you kind of know that there'll be something on the horizon, and it's just about making sure that you maximize those periods of like high liquidity and volatility. So all these lulls, I feel a little bit more temporary. I don't know about you guys. Like I feel confident we'll get rebounds on like BTC at least at some point in the future.
yeah, I mean, yeah, Bitcoin, like, I think it's like proven itself this cycle that it's what like people outside of crypto are willing to bet on. Like they boomers with money think of it as digital gold. Like they don't really know what the flows will be for. I mean, Sailor is like 20% of the market buying at the moment, but like boomers itself think Bitcoin is good, and I think it's just like it's bullish for the industry based on the fact that like it's not like a dying industry and we're getting all this cool like stablecoin regulation, which is like bullish for the US dollar as well. So like more stablecoins, it's in itself is like good for the government. Should be like pushing that really hard because it just like increases USD dominance, which in turn is just like obviously bullish for Bitcoin, because there's so much more stablecoin market cap. So as like a digital gold. So, and like also gold going up, I think if people are like crying because like gold's at all-time highs, but I think that's like actually really bullish for Bitcoin because gold had a period where it went up only like during that Bitcoin chop, and then Bitcoin just caught up in like a week. So like Bitcoin will always catch up. It's like I'm not like bearish Bitcoin until it gets way closer to gold or like ever flips it in like 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, whatever it is.
Yeah, gold
Yeah,
made
which will
all-time
be cool.
highs like this week again.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
But
it's
then you think like you're like everyone's crying, and but then I remember like Bitcoin just caught up to it. Like gold did this like run during the Bitcoin chop, and then like within a week, Bitcoin caught up all its gains.
yeah.
And it's like it's like who cares? Like Bitcoin always will catch up.
No, that's a good point.
It moves really quick in a short period of time.
And I just confirmed, Sticks, so you were right. It was a $350 million position that
Bro, is it like he'd be in profit now, like quite
he
significantly?
he's $3.8 million in profit
Yeah.
on his position, which is interesting. It is very interesting. So I'm sharing screen on Poad right now, but yeah, so he is completely net short. He's got a $367 million position on it, mate. He's up 3.7 mil. Yeah, like what does he know? What does he know?
I don't know.
It's
I don't
just
know.
it's wild to me because I'm looking at the position size.
40x is crazy.
4,422 Bitcoin position size right now.
Crazy. 4,000 Bitcoin is insane.
It is crazy. It does sort of make me wonder, like I'm torn between whether or not this person's trying to destroy HyperLiquid or if
like he actually genuinely knows something and just doesn't want to dox who he is. Like
yeah, exactly. And
because if someone was to continuously do this on a like centralized exchange, like they're obviously KYC'd or whatever, but
yeah,
it's interesting. Hey,
yeah.
Doing it on a weekend is wild.
I know. I know. Is it really going to be like another opening sell like Monday bloodbath, and then because like we always get these like rallies end of the week, but then like when it's like bearish, like equities always open like as a bloodbath on a Monday.
Yeah.
Like, please don't be that. Please don't be that.
We've got FOMC this week as well.
Fuck, how shit is it when like when like conditions aren't good and like you fucking have to like actually care about this BS.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I fucking hate it. Like I genuinely never care about it, but then it's like you kind of have to when it's like
Oh yeah, dude.
conditions aren't bullish.
It's like Tuesday, Wednesday this week that FOMC's on, so it'll be one of those like I wake up early in the morning and watch J Powell fucking do a speech and like
no,
watch
I can't.
the 1 minute charts fucking gone wild. You know, fucking
Yeah, it's
J
kind of
Powell
crazy
says
how
something and oh god. Oh, it's just fucked.
yeah, pretty fucked there.
Yeah.
This is some limp dick action
I
on
know,
BTC
I
right
know.
now.
Oh, bro, like
Weekend price action.
like I'll suck
classic
dick for some
videos.
volatility right now, seriously.
I don't know. Either way, like I just want something
Yeah, just something
at
like
this point.
give
Like,
me lower, give me
something.
higher, like whatever it is, just
But
not
just do it. Yeah.
yeah, just
Yeah.
rip the band-aid off.
Do
Like
it. Yeah.
just
Yeah, it's
oh
boring here.
god, it's
Anyway,
fucking
yeah.
killing me. But
Killing me. Anyways, boys.
yeah.
I think
Yeah, I was about
I
to say
think
I got to jump off as well.
wrap up. Yeah, I gotta go to fucking bed. I'm so tired.
yeah,
But
agreed. But no, it's good to chat. Let's hope that we actually have some interesting positive news of some sort.
well, yeah, I hope.
That look
need-
like not even positive, just fucking something, please.
Go up or down, but do it quickly. I fucking hate this. I think the worst part about this cycle has been like there's been like instances where there's been like really slow bleeds down and it like pisses me off so much. Just like give us 2021 or like even earlier than that volatility.
Yeah, seriously.
Need that crazy price. Anyways,
I'll
but
take it. All right.
yeah. All right, boys.
Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thanks,
Don't
guys.
forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. Shout out to Stinkley, our intern and our good bro, for doing all that good work for us. Don't forget to also check out the Best Trader I Know series from Swiss. He's interviewing some of the top CT
Good
names
series.
or some unknown CT guys you probably never heard of. There's some really cool interviews there. I believe there's a new one with Bungle coming out soon.
Tomorrow,
Oh,
yes.
oh, fuck yeah.
Which would be
I'll
cool.
listen to
Tomorrow.
that.
So yeah, don't forget to check it out. Shout out to Collega812. He said he finally got to join in to a Poad this time and immediately were talking about Fartcoin. So yeah, no, and shout out to your boy Kopi, a bunch of others that were in the chat today. It was cool to see you guys.
Happy.
Really
Love it.
appreciate all of you guys for tuning in, and yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.